Alright, so we got this alternator. This is the QX60. There's two bolts on it in. Of course, you got your positive. You got your electrical there. That's it. Two bolts. Pretty easy, right? Nah, not on this Infiniti. It's a 2017 QX60. Batteries right here. It's 10mm right there to disconnect your negative. According to all data, it's a 5-hour job. It tells you to take out the radiator. I saw another guy do this on YouTube. And he just dropped the compressor. So that's what we're doing. And there's a couple of things he didn't go into detail about, like for instance, this right here, you need to move this out the way. There's a 10mm there, 10mm right there. And then there's like a clip right there. You just pop that out. I just use like a long pry bar type of deal. There's two 14mm bolts on the bottom of the compressor right there. On the side. Now to get to that, you got to take off your tensioner right there, right? What the guy did not say is take off this bolt right here. Right? This is the easy one to get to. This is the hard one. When you take this bolt out right here, the easy one on the left, what you're gonna do is you're gonna move the tensioner this way and then get this from the top. It's a 13mm, and it's right there. That's where the tensioner goes. It's just you can't get to it because the tensioner itself is in the way. But once you take out these two bolts on the side, you can get that 14mm right there on the side of the alternator. There's a 14mm nut that goes right there. You gotta, I'm gonna take off this line right here. Just move it out the way. You know, and I tucked this, so I just kind of shoved it in there. And then there's the bottom. You know, just a couple push pins. I just took the clips and then folded it back just to get it out the way. On the bottom of the compressor, you got two 10mm holding these brackets. It's 10 right there. It's another 10 that goes right there. You got two 14mm bolts right there. You got one right there. You got to get your other one up there. Right there. So you see it up there. So then after you do that, there's your other, that's a 12mm on the front. That's your alternator right there. That's the bolt on the front of the alternator. So you see there's your alternator right there. There's your alternator, and that's where the bolt is on the front of the alternator. So so what I did, reach my hand up in there like this. So I'm gonna come right here in front of the compressor like this. Then come here on the right in front. So you know, all that it says to remove the radiator. It takes 5 hours to do this job. So there's no fucking shortcut to this, man. Like, this shit took me 2 hours to get this alternator out. I saw this video. This guy tried to make it a little easy by dropping the AC compressor. I don't think there's like a really easy way to do this. I noticed that the guy, you know, in his video, it started getting late, and then he changed clothes, and next thing you know, it's early in the morning, So it actually, and then he speeded up the video. It took this guy 2 days to do this job, and it takes 5 hours to, you know, if you take out the radiator, you can get this from the top. Once you take the radiator and the grill out, it's really easy to get it from the front. This is very difficult to do, but there's like less steps. You know, it's like less, I guess, motions, but they're very difficult. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's like, this is a, don't try this shit at home if you're not a mechanic. You're gonna catch hell. Putting this back in is especially gonna be a bitch, because it's so tight. Just to try to get this on, you have no room to get the alternator in there, and then there's no wiggle room here on this fucking line, unless I can go up here and find some kind of release. You know, you've got to take this off, this line, and I just tucked it back up in here, and then the lower radiator hose, I took that off, and it's up here. I tucked it way up there, so that's your upper radiator hose, and I tucked it, I mean your lower radiator hose, but I tucked it that way, because otherwise it's gonna get in the room, and you got to bring it out this way, you know, right through here, and then move this fucking line out the way, and you got to take this bracket off too, which is not easy, because you got to open these clamps right here. You know, I'm saying you got to. You don't have to do it my way. You can do it your way, but you gotta open these up. You know what I'm saying? I use the air hammer to do it, and then, you know, I use the air hammer and knocked it right off. I ain't got time to fuck around. But it can be done this way. You're not gonna beat shop time doing it this way necessarily. I mean, unless you're really good. And then I said, you know, you gotta slide it off that bolt. No, you don't. You gotta push that bolt back that way. And there it is right there. It's a long bolt. But so when you put your alternator back, you're gonna have to slide it in this way. You know, you can fit your hand up in there that way. It's fucking tight. There's like no room to work here. So if you want to be really frustrated while you're doing a job, yeah, do it like that. But I mean, there's less, you know, moves as far as motions and stuff. They're just very difficult to do. Doing it this way. So I'd actually probably recommend, you know, if you're not a mechanic and you're not, you know, got really good tools, you take that radiator out, take that grill out, save a lot of headache. But if you feel like you got it like that, you know what I'm saying, and you yeah, you can try this shit if you want to, but I'm telling you, it's not easy. That hard part, like I said, is that one bolt on the tensioner. It's a bitch. But if you slide the tensioner forward, you can get it with a ratcheting wrench. That's the hardest part. And then maybe that front top bolt on the alternator, you can get it. You just gotta move the radiator hose out the way. That's probably the hardest part of the job, you know, moving them lines out the way. That's it. I mean, you can do it. You know, it ain't gonna be easy. I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna be easy. That guy tried to make this shit like he made the video like a holy fucking grail video, like this was gonna be easy. Like, you can do this shit at home. Nah, bro. I can do this shit. You ain't gonna be able to do this shit. Not unless you're a mechanic. Like, if you just a DIY weekend type person, don't fucking try this. Don't even fucking try it. I promise you, you ain't gonna make it. So this ain't for the weak of heart right here. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna put it back in. I'll give you some tips and stuff like that. Okay, so I went ahead and put it back together, and so I'm gonna just tell you what I had to do. Okay, so I had to take out the cooling fan, which is easy. It's just a 10 millimeter here, a 10 millimeter right here, And then you're gonna take and pull this off. You got 2 10s right here on your tray. Then take off your battery, take your battery out, take your battery positive negative off. Pull this out, and then you got 2 bolts right here, 12mm and a 14, holding in this module right here. All of this comes out, and then you're gonna have basically. All right, so take the battery out and all that. You got to take off the cooling fan module off the front. It's just some plugs to get, you know, so you got to take the cooling fan out. You got 2 T30s. You got one right there, and then there's another one right there, right there. So, and then, you know what I'm saying, there's your cooling fan module right there. And you got a, you know what I'm saying, you got like 2 or 3 plugs on the front of it. You got 2 10mm bolts. So I'd go ahead and take that cooling fan module off. And before you try to remove it, take the cooling fan module off. It'll give you more room. And then you're going to pull the cooling fan this way and then up this way. Come out at an angle. Now the reason I did that is because there's no room. You're supposed to take out the radiator, but you don't have to take out the radiator. Just take out the cooling fan. But you got to come in down here from the side to get the belt off and get the tensioner, you know what I'm saying, get the bolts and stuff. You got to drop the compressor a little bit. But the reason I did this is because I was trying to do it without coming to the top. You got to come to the top. You got to. Ain't no other way around it. That guy, he made that video. It took him like 2 days to do it, you know what I'm saying? You can do this a lot faster. You just go ahead and take out the cooling fan, because that's what messed me up. Because I tried to, I had no room, so I had to turn the alternator, and it ripped the power cord. It ripped the electrical connector, you know, the wires at the back. So then I had to go, you know what I'm saying, find out if that ever happens to you. The yellow, the white, gray wire, it goes in the middle of the generator plug, and then the yellow wire goes to the outside. If you have, you know what I'm saying, if that happens to you, so the white gray wire goes in the middle, the yellow wire goes to the outside. All right, so I had to go find out, you know, that information, so I didn't reverse the polarity on the generator and you know, mess up something electrical. So I went to the dealership and all that stuff. I just got it off the internet. And then, but by doing so, what I did is you got access to the front, to the positive generator cable right here, real easy. And what I did on the generator cable on the wire, it's got a bunch of plastic, you know what I'm saying, because the original generator right here, you know, see, it's got this kind of setup right here where it just the wire, the plug goes right on here. Now the aftermarket, it's got it's like sitting up. There's like a plug, a screw sitting up like that. So in order to make this work with the new one, now you could just unplug it. You know, it's got an adapter. You could just unscrew the adapter. I wanted to keep the adapter on, so I just broke all the plastic off with like some pliers on the wire. I just broke all the plastic off, you know what I'm saying? So it's nothing but metal on the battery positive cable, and then it, you know, it was flush with the new generator. Also, the new it's like easy to get to it, you know what I'm saying? It's right there. There's your once you take out all of this stuff right here, you just come in through, take this little cover off right here. Everything's right there. I took that bracket off too. But what I did, in order to line up that bolt, I took you know, this gear wrench right here. It's adjustable, you know what I'm saying? You press this button and you can extend it, you know what I'm saying? Also, you know what I'm saying, if you got like a hood prop, you know what I'm saying, an adjustable hood prop, you can use that too. But so I use that gear wrench adjustable pry bar coming from the bottom, and then you know what I'm saying, I just lifted it up, propped up the alternator, And then to hold it still, you know what I'm saying, to make it not move, I just used, I put the bottom of the pry bar in the hole of that one of those rotors. But you can use a tire, you can use whatever, you can use a wheel chock, you know what I'm saying, just so that it don't slide, you know what I'm saying, and move, and the alternator keep dropping on you, you know what I'm saying. Or just have somebody on the bottom. If you got two people, just have somebody push up the alternator from the bottom, you know what I'm saying, while you come here, and then you want to put that screw in right here by hand. And then it's really easy to get to the positive cable, because that's why you got to take out, you know what I'm saying, the coolant fan for that positive cable, the plug, and the top alternator bolt. You know what I'm saying? But everything else, you know what I'm saying, that bottom bolt, I put the bottom bolt, I put it in backwards when I put it back together. It was just easier for me to do that because the bolt didn't want to go in on the catalytic converter side. It's just really hard to get your hand in there, but you can get your hand in right here easy for that bottom alternator bolt. So I just slid it in there and then put a nut on the end of a extension with a swivel to get the bolt back onto the alternator on the catalytic converter side. But you know, all that, it says it takes like 5 hours, and I mean, that's pretty reasonable. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you about a good 4 or 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? You can't. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's just a tedious job. You know what I'm saying? You just got a lot of moves to make on this. So you know what I'm saying? Make sure you charge them. Make sure you charge them. But this is 2019 Infiniti QX60, and that's the generator replacement. You know, and I don't be faking nothing, trying to make it look like this easy or something like that. This ain't no easy job. Like, dude that made a video that he just came in through the side, he trying to make it look like like this is like something that he, like, it was easy. Like, if you watch the video, he working, it turned into nighttime, then he changed clothes, and it's the morning. It took him 2 days to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would have had this done a lot if I didn't try to do it his way. If I would have just took out the cooling fan, which is what I usually do anyway on Nissans, you always take out the cooling fan, I would have had it done a lot faster. But I was trying to follow this dude. He over here trying to make it act like it's easy. He not even talking or nothing like that. But he fast forward, you know what I'm saying, the video. That's what messed me up. You know what I'm saying? I should have just took out the cooling fan, you know what I'm saying, so I can get to the top stuff real easy, and I would have never ripped out the wires from the generator. So that's what slowed me down. But anyways, I was just doing that, you know what I'm saying? You got to come back down here to do the belt, you know what I'm saying, drop the compressor, you know what I'm saying, and get the tensioner out. So, but still, you got to take out the cooling fan. Ain't no other way around it. Don't even try to not do it. You're just going to have a headache. You're going to cause some problems, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, 2019 QX60 generator replacement. Okay, so in order to get this done, I had to take out the radiator fan. You probably don't even have to do that, but I would suggest taking out the fan. So if you see right here, as you can see right there, there's the alternator bolt right there, the positive right there, and anywho, it's there it is right there. That's the alternator positive right there. And you see that yellow and that white wire? That's going to the connector, the generator connector, which is right behind that positive lead right there, which is a 13 millimeter.
And so connectors right behind it.